Baby, read the fine print. I've got baggage and it's all Gucci. Don't get too attached to me. Everybody act like the answer. One love like in the movies. Wasting precious time assuming. Oh, were we made to fall? No, I'm not lonely when solo and solely exploring what I need. Cause dozens of times I swear that I knew in the wisdom.
Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good Labor Day weekend. Our holiday started on Friday for those who like, traveling, visiting family, those who love partying. You had a whole weekend and it's coming to an end. For those who are self-employed or the ones we call ourselves hustlers, we have no holiday. We are always working, moving about. So even now I've just come from showing a house, so there's no holiday for real estate agents. Actually, when people break for holidays, that's when majority of people have time to look at properties. Majority of people have time to conclude certain deals, and when it rains, even more people come out to look at properties because that's the ideal time to check the condition of the property, if it is getting flooded, if it is accessible, if the roads are really accessible and all that. So for real estate agents, when the weather is like this, you get more people asking you to take them out to look at the properties. But also being a month end, we also have a lot of inquiries, people moving out, people moving in. And so we have a lot of work, and we thank God for it. We thank God for it that we get busy even when people are taking break for holidays. But personally, I also don't take my holiday until September. During my birthday month, I usually take at least 2 weeks break and go out of town. Reason being, so many reasons. Having been orphaned when I was young, no parents who is living, so you naturally don't find it home, like there's a home to go to. Even though there's home, yes, I have home, I have relatives, I have brothers and sisters, but the 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 urge and the drive to go home when your parents are alive, it's different. You'll always find a reason to go home whenever you find a little break. So we'll go straight into this video. Like I said, majority of the time, even during weekends, holidays, whatever day, real estate agents are working all the time. So I'll give you a story. And this story is about 2 weeks ago, a client in diaspora, and in diaspora I mean in the United States, contacted us and told us that they need our help to manage a property in some area in Nairobi Parklands Estate. And back and forth communication, of course, we have to verify, are you the owner of the property? If you're not, can you authenticate that you have authority? So here's the story. This client contacted us and said that they have a property in Parklands, and the sad thing about it, they have it's a maisonette. So the family was working in Nairobi a while back, and then they relocated back to the US, but they kept the property as is with their family furniture and everything, but they left a caretaker at the property. So the caretaker who was left at the property turned around and started subletting some part of the, in my opinion, I think it has been going on for a while. He was, because he's furnished, so maybe he's been renting to people for 1 night, 2 nights. But this family trusted their caretaker so much because he has worked with them for 30 years. So when they contacted me and told me that they feel that the caretaker went ahead and sublet part of the house to someone without their knowledge, and they were requesting if we could help them, one, know what is the strategy to remove that person from their house, and two, maybe eventually advise whether to sell the property or remove the furniture and rent it without furniture. So here is the story. So on Friday, I visit Parklands property because the daughter that I had been speaking to via email was also traveling that day. So we agreed to meet at the property at 2 p.m., around 2:30. But of course, with the delays of immigration and everything, she ended up arriving at the property at 6 p.m. in the evening. I waited. The reason why I waited, because when I arrived there, of course, the tenant who was being sublet that house was already there. This lady, when the caretaker, when you call the caretaker, like I said, he was shaking, even throughout since Friday. So he's called by the cops and is looking like he's about to die. Anyway, so they're trying to interrogate him. In the process, people are shouting because there's so many people in the compound. So they're trying to interrogate him. And the next thing we know, he collapses. The caretaker collapsed. And so we are carrying the caretaker back to his room, doing first aid station where his medication for blood pressure. We give him the medication. Okay, I'm not being like a bad person, but as in the drama, I was like, wait, you always told someone when things get really bad and you're caught in a bad situation, the best thing is to faint. So for me, I thought he was pulling one of those. Maybe it was really, because even from Friday, he told me he has blood pressure issues and everything. And so I thought he's just pulling one of those because he really I actually thought he hurt his head. He really fell down, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's going on? So we take another 20-30 minutes trying to calm him down and do everything. But in the process, I take time to explain to the officers the situation as it is, what happened, where we are, and what the argument was. And they're like, wait, so why were we called to come here? I said, I don't know. You people just came without even digging the story, and you wasted a lot of fuel coming. Fast forward, the officer realized that they are at the right place with the wrong intentions. They're looking for the person they should be looking for is actually the one who hired them to come. And the person reported that we are creating disturbance in their house. Can you imagine? Anyway, moral of the story, that the people we trust, the people that we trust with our property, whether it's a piece of land or whatever, sometimes it's just good to create those rules, do and don'ts. If you leave too much space for people to do whatever they want, then of course you might get into trouble. So real estate is fun. Real estate is a good investment. Real estate is a way to become wealthy, but real estate can also bring you a lot of pain and agony. Real estate can lead to death. Real estate can lead to people going to jail. Real estate can create such disharmony among family members. Real estate can create such bad blood between you and neighbors and all these people. So even as much as you look at the positive side of real estate and owning real estate, in the process you can also develop so many enemies, and even your own life could be in danger because of real estate. So please just make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, the only real estate company in Kenya that will always be sharing with you something you need to know, what is going on in real estate, and soon something bigger is coming. Thank you. So in this all ordeal, the whole drama that I've been telling you about, if you look at it realistically, how much has it costed this family? From the emotional drain, financial, psychological. This lady has children in the US, so she had to apply for a leave, get her air ticket, come to Kenya, and she's gonna be here for 2 weeks because now they have to find an alternative way of dealing with the situation. They can't entirely 100% trust their caretaker with this. So remember, it's nothing that was planned. You suddenly realize something is going on in your property that you did not foresee, and so you have to abandon everything that you're doing and run to Kenya to try and resolve the issue. So the financial part of it, if you look at it, and how much the family have spent, despite the fact that the caretaker was well paid, his salary was always left to a trusted family member in Kenya 6 months in advance, so he would go and collect the money every end of the month without any delay. He had the whole property for himself, just tidying up and cleaning and living in good state, because the family was using this property as a holiday home whenever they come to Kenya, or any other family member needs a place to stay. So they were looking at it in terms of, instead of renting an hotel, they'll always be having a place to stay. So the whole mess has costed this family money. It was emotionally draining, and especially when the cops came yesterday, she was looking, you know, scared, shaken, because you're thinking, okay, if the cops are actually coming to try to force me to allow someone to stay in my house, you know how uncomfortable it is. In fact, let me not forget that she had to stay in an hotel, because even now she decided she'd continue staying in the hotel because she doesn't feel really safe in the compound. We noted some of the, like the main door, someone like trying to break in. So you generally don't even feel safe after such an ordeal. She's decided, she's resorted, she'll be staying in an hotel for the period that she'll be in Kenya. So if you look at such a situation, you see how certain things can just happen when you didn't expect it, and when you actually feel you are right, because what the tenants were insisting on over and over and over again was, prove to us that you're the owner of the property. You know, that was so ridiculous. They kept on insisting, we need proof that you're the owner of the property. So I even asked one of those cops who was not in uniform that if I were to ask you right now to prove to me that you're a police officer, what will you do? Apart from you telling me you're from Pangani, you're a police officer. He told me, I'll show you my identity. I say, if you showed me your identity and I say it's fake, what will you do? He told me, oh, I'll get mad and I'll arrest you. I say, same thing here. You come, you travel all the way from the US, you find someone in your house, but that someone is the one who is calling the cops on you, you know. So when I tried to just break it down to them, they were more calm, they understood it, and was like, yeah, you're right. If really I came into my compound and someone is literally walking into your kitchen, they go to the bathroom, they're climbing upstairs, honestly, it was very, very, very uncomfortable. And you would even wish that to your worst enemy, because, you know, a family property or a property is like your baby. People go through a lot to own property, and that's why it is such an emotive issue. Someone wants to interfere with your property is someone who wants to hurt your child or something. The emotions that are involved are deep, are very deep, and that's why it gets very complicated. Once people begin to develop emotions concerning property issues, it gets very difficult to resolve, because it is something that people hold dear to themselves. You know, a family property are, like they say, the basic needs. The housing is such a basic need, so you don't know what the family had to go through to own it. And so if you just walk in and start demanding, they were saying they need a copy of the title, they need I think they needed a birth certificate of this lady to prove that she's a child to the owner of the property. It was ridiculous. It was really, really ridiculous. So some of these things, you just never know when it will hit you. But the lesson learned is, whatever you do, if you have a property, make periodic visit, and more or less just stay in charge of it, because you never know. You might just find that your title has been changed into someone else's name. Imagine that. Just imagine.